And welcome to Antalya, to the Kefes Sport Hall for the men's 85 kilo weightlifting championship of Europe. Randy Strossen from Iron Mind alongside myself, David Goldstrom, for a competition which has already taken an interesting twist, because originally we had 9 on the start list. As you can see from the list now, we only have 8, and the missing man is the man from Belarus, Nikolai Novikov, 25 years of age, who officially, we understand, is injured and did not turn up at the weigh-in. And a man who, a couple of years ago in Minsk on his own platform, took a bronze medal in the European Championship. So no Novikov. But here's Giovanni, otherwise known as Jean-Baptiste Bardis, one of 5 Bardis children. And next, the Hungarian János Baranai, 5th in Europe a year ago. Representing Germany, this is Tom Schwarzbach. Really important day. He's vying with Jürgen Spiess for that 3rd place in the Olympic team. Representing Georgia, Rauli Sirekidze from Georgia, 3rd in the under-23 championships last season. And Gabriel Sinclayan, his performance record a little bit like a roller coaster, a little bit up, a little bit down. He was 6th in Paris though, which wasn't too bad in the World Championships last November. Fatih Badar represents the host nation, a man who, well, way back 9 years ago was a junior world bronze medalist. Christian Stroka for Poland, 5th in the junior worlds last year. And completing the lineup, Moldova's representative Georgi Cherney, the junior European champion of last season from Chisinau, the capital of Moldova. Well, Randy, 14 kilo spread amongst the contenders tonight, yet again. On paper, this should be quite a competition, but we have to factor in 1 or 2 others who, under other circumstances, might have been here. In particular, Benjamin Hennequin of France, who was the world silver medalist, who has moved up to 94 kilos. And also another absentee, the bronze medalist, Adrian Zielinski of Poland, who is not with us, preparing for the Olympics in a different way.
Not to mention the 2 Russians who tied at 385 at last year's Europeans, right? And I don't think we'll be close to that, frankly, tonight. But should be intense competition, even with the numbers that aren't that high.
Well, there was a B group earlier in the day, and this is Donatas Anushkevičius of Lithuania, 158 kilos in the snatch. This the 3rd and good attempt. Characteristic of him is always to rotate a little bit like a helicopter. Nothing wrong with that, providing the arms are locked out, the feet are in line.
And the Lithuanians always have to provide a little drama out there on the platform. So movement like that, part of the show.
Unique colour uniform, which is always, I think, a great idea. And he was onto the stage for the clean and jerk as well. 180, then went 190. Didn't get it, as you can see from the red there, at the 2nd attempt. But this was his 3rd go at 190, looking for a total of 348 kilos. And that compares with the lowest total in tonight's A-final, the lowest entered total, and that's 363 kilos. So that's the reason why he was lifting in the B group. But if some fall by the wayside tonight, who knows, he might creep up the ranking list. Nonetheless, this was his 3rd attempt, the narrower grip for the clean and jerk. First phase, the clean. And to finish it off, which is exactly what he did do, 190, 3rd time, and a total of 348. And he's the man who's waiting in the wings to see if miraculously all the milk bottles are knocked off the wall and he suddenly ends up with a gold medal. It isn't going to happen, but nonetheless, you live in hope sometimes. Past winners: Yevtin of Russia, the winner in Kazan last year, but as Randy just mentioned to you, one of several absentees. So getting ready now for the first of the attempts. 8 lifters, as you see the records there. Now, it is actually a Belarus lifter, Andrei Rybakov, who has the European snatch record, 187. Now, when I tell you that we're going to open on 148, and the highest starting entry is 162, that gives you an idea of where we're not going tonight. By the way, the 187 is also the world snatch record held and set by Andrei Rybakov. But this is Tom Schwarzbach, lifts for the Chemnitz club. And in the audience, his girlfriend of about 6 months or so, I think, Julia Rode, who competed earlier in the championships. Good start.
Boy, he stuck that, huh?
Yeah, he did quite well in Paris, 3:59. They've got a final test, the German team, on around the 9th of June. And
shoulders well ahead of the bar, just where you'd want them to be, and then snaps into that bottom position. Very nice to get a strong opener like that.
And Tom, well, he knows that he is in a head-to-head duel with Jürgen. I mean, basically, they've got 3 places in the German team. Belegic, the super heavyweight, and Matthias Steiner look sort of booked for the 2 of those places. So he did pretty well. I mean, they got a qualifying line of 3:53, which they set for Paris. He did 3:59, so he got there. But it's all about what happens here and what happens on the 9th of June that's going to finally decide.
Yeah, they're Olympic trials.
But he's 25 years of age. He's a sports soldier, which means that by being in the army and the sports division, he can totally focus on his work. And was 9th in Europe last year. Picked up 150, picked up 154 in Paris. So starting, you would have to say, pretty conservatively. But once again, we have to put the context in here. You're not trying to break the bank at these European Championships. What you're trying to do is to use this as one of those key stepping stones towards the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Very, very few athletes get a chance to go to the Olympic Games. And for most, they get 1 chance. If you're very good, you might get 2. If you're exceptional, you might get 3. If you're Sir Steve Redgrave, you get 5 gold medals.
Yeah, maybe this is going to sound just stupidly obvious, but particularly if you're an athlete who's not in the hunt for a medal or possibly even to lift an A session, which would be the case of this lifter, the 1 shot is really probably the most likely.
And it still is incredibly special to win the right to go there, and then you can call yourself an Olympian because you've actually been on the Olympic stage.
Yeah. Hey, holding back a little bit, I mean, I'll just stop there. You're technically absolutely 100% right.
Right, 152 kilos, so 4 kilo increase here for Tom. And the next weight on the board for the next man to come in is posted at 155. That's the Hungarian, so could be that Tom will wait the 3rd attempt out if he's successful this time and choose perhaps to go for a personal best. Arms, as you can see, almost fully extended along the bar. And that's nice, better for me than the first one. It was more fluent, it had a little bit more pizzazz about it.
Really nice and smooth. You know, you could say, well, don't criticize him just because he's snatching, you know, what, say 20 kilos below what we'd like to see him snatching. He's doing a great job on the weights that are within range for him. And incidentally, you mentioned this about the German team and who his girlfriend is. She's right behind us, and she's been capturing this with her iPhone.
Yeah, she was fifth in the women's.
Well, she great snatching and a rough time, unfortunately, in the clean and jerk. I think she might also be right on that cusp as far as making the German team.
Yeah, she was fifth in the women's 53 competition, total up 192 kilos. Julia, former European medalist, but on this occasion didn't get one of those overall medals.
The German team is really a well-oiled machine. And of course, in this weight class, they have the great Mark Huster, who used to duel with Piros Dimas. So they've got a tradition, not just in weightlifting and excellence, but this class is one that they were at the top of the heap for years.
Well, they've been in a stage of rebuilding now for more than 6 years, so time will tell whether they can come really back to the top. Of course, they did with Steiner in the Olympic Games, but I mean as a collective rather than an individual effort. Now, Baranai for Hungary. 27 years of age, experience, fifth in Europe last year. That's his best European finish. Good start. Nice, strong start there. Plenty more to come. I expect this man to go past 160. So it'll be very interesting to see how he steps forward.
Snatch is a chain reaction. First element is just getting the bar off the platform, and things just speed up after that.
Yeah, this is a Lyco platform. If you've been with us over the preceding days, you'll know this is very much the same design of platform that you'll be seeing at the London Olympic Games. As onto the stage comes Christian Schrocker of Poland. First attempt, 21 years of age.
And little adjustment there to save that.
Yeah, save is absolutely right. He weighed in at 84 kilos, and he is the lightest of tonight's class.
Well, we're off to a good, strong start here with one successful lift after another. I hope I'm not going to regret saying that.
Yeah, but the Lithuanian who lifted in the B group, Anushkevicius, still on 158 kilos, has the advantage at the moment as Tom Schwarzbach comes onto the stage for his third attempt to look and make it 3 out of 3. And 155, this by a kilo, would represent on the competition stage, not in the German championships, not in the national championships, but on a European Federation stage or an IWF stage, this would be a personal record. Wow.
Yeah. And he's looking at the German crowd.
He's looking at the German crowd. I'm looking at him and saying, well, that could have been surely 156.
Yeah.
It's easy in having hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, good management of the attempts, good execution by the lifter, it's what you want.
So from Germany to France and Giovanni Bardis. Actually, amongst the French team known as Jean-Baptiste, now one of several Bardis brothers. There's Luca, Flavio, Dimitrio, and Battista, and Jean-Baptiste. Home for this young man is Paris, and he did compete in the Olympic Games in Beijing. He was down in the 77 kilo class, top 15 there, now up to 85 kilos. And reality, I suppose, quite interesting here because of the competition earlier in the week. And that's the competition in the men's 69 kilo class, in which Wenceslas Dabaya for France finished in second place, and Bernardine Matam, young Matam, finished second and third, the first time that France had ever had two people on a podium. It means that Bardis tonight, given that Enekin is a world silver medalist in this category, well, he will do his best, but he still might not go to the Olympic Games. Straight on to Moldova, and this is Cherney, Georgi Cherney, and the junior European champion of last season. Good start.
We're seeing one nice snatch after another. None of these have been ragged. None of them have been ugly. Look at this. That's what a snatch should look like. Makes it look easy.
Yeah, and Cherney, real fire in the belly. I just need to make one little correction here. Actually, it's Cherney who is the lightest man in the class on 84 kilos. I think I said earlier that the Polish lifter was. Apologies for that error. The Polish lifter, Christian Strocker, actually weighed in at 84.62. So now Janusz Baranaj, and the bar has gone to 159 kilos. Now this is significant because he would go into first place by virtue of lighter body weight, but actually he would go into the lead because he'd have one more kilo than Cherney and Bardis, and also the Lithuanian Anush Kevicius from the B group. That's a good second attempt, and this is a very enjoyable start.
Yeah, every snatch in the lifter looks like it's a sewing machine needle. Up and down, just punching these things.
And the interesting thing is, they're making this look so easy when it is absolutely not easy.
Yeah, you know, we said, okay, we're not at the world record level in terms of the weights, but you got to remember, these are heavy weights for these guys, and they're not to be sneezed at in general. 160 kilos. Most people who lifted weights at this body would be happy to do an honest squat with that, and these guys are snatching it.
Now, Sirekedzi from Georgia, Rowley. First appearance, first attempt, 160. And again, this is 3 kilos above where he finished in the Paris World Championships. And just looking down the stats, this is straight away going for a personal best, but not by the odd kilo either. This is 3 kilos than ever before. And the good news continues. With that 14 kilo spread now looking quite interesting, because, well, I'm not going to tempt fate about the other colour at the moment because it isn't on the board.
Yeah.
Now, Strocker from Poland. This is a newcomer to these major championships. He was 5th in the Junior Worlds last season in Penang. And second attempt, 160. Now he's moving up here from 155. So again, this is new championship territory. And you're seeing some faces here, Randy, who may not go to the Olympic Games, but in the next Olympic cycle, that's when they will hope to become famous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a building process. You could see in his snatch, he's a guy who jumps back, not something that you coach or that you prefer to have someone do, but some lifters just do that. They'll hop back, they'll jump backwards as they're lifting. But yeah, remember these names, especially the guys who look good technically at this point are in the younger side, and 2, 3, 4 years from now, they might be the front runners.
Gabriel Sinclayan for Romania now. Had a word with the coach. Now, I had a word with the coach about this lad, and I said, you know, what's his characteristic? He said, he's a bit slow.
Uh-oh. Well, we'll watch, and I'll give you my opinion.
He said it in a nice way, though.
Yeah. I'm sure. I can see why he says that, but you know what? He's not much slower than a lot of the guys we've seen so far. In weightlifting, at the top levels, basically you have the quick and you have the dead, and he's not in the quick category compared to those people.
Christian Soraka, Polonya, kilo artırıyor. 162 kilogram yazdılar.
Well, if that's an example of slow, well done, because he's got lots more to offer. 169 in Paris, so he's got plenty up his sleeve, I think.
Yeah, and it goes to show you what, you know, how everything is relative. A slow weightlifter at this level is still mighty quick.
So, 28-year-old Fatih Bedar gets the audience here in the Kepeş Sport Hall. We're in a suburb of Antalya, and he's coming out. Friends, family in the hall, so a little family prayer there on 162 kilos to open up. And for us, he's not a particularly familiar face on the platform.
Right. I was going to say, now there's an example. We're just talking about speed. There's an example of a lifter who's much faster under the bar, and that's where the speed is going to really show up in the snatch. Not so much in how quickly you pull, but rather how quickly you move your body in the opposite direction, racing to get under it. He's noticeably faster.
Well, we're about halfway through, and what a terrific start at the moment, and this competition really building. Turkey in the lead by a kilo from Romania. Bedar from Sinkrayan, then Sidekidze of Georgia, 160. Skoka of Poland, 160. Baranai of Hungary, 159. It's really close. And here comes Baranai now, who's been pushed down to 5th place. But this is his 3rd attempt to go 162 kilos. And on lighter body weight, this would put him up into the gold medal position. So this for a new personal best. Before 160 was his best in competition mark. And 2-1. So one of the 3 referees not happy, so let's have a look at this game. Well, I think the arms were rocked out, but the jury in front of me not moving, so that lift is given. And of course that takes him into the lead. 162, actually, when he was a junior way back in 2004, he actually lifted 162.5 kilos. So apologies for that. I'd quite forgotten what he did all those years ago. He's 27 years of age, and now by contrast the Polish representative is only 21. He's now in 5th place on 160, bar at 162. And yet again, couldn't quite save it. I thought he had managed to do it, and that is the first piece of red on the bar. What a pity, because he was very close to getting away with that. You'll see here, on the drive up, comes forward, just loses the position and can't finish it off, and the bar just going off the platform. So Mr. Bardis coming onto the stage, and this is a 5 kilo increase, 163. So again, very decent increase, was in the Europeans in Kazan last year. Picked up 157, 184 in the clean and jerk for 341. Better things may be happening, and the French men's team, certainly with their tails up at the moment, really good spirit in the squad. Coming down to 15 seconds. Athletically very good there, very strong as well, good positioning, and 163, and he now nips into the lead, moves up from 7th place into top spot, and still has one attempt to come. Everybody's started. Just a reminder, if you've just come in, that the Belarus lifter, former European bronze medalist Nikolai Novikov, did not present for the weigh-in, and as we understand officially is injured. Now Cherney from Moldova, 22 years of age. Moldova having a good championship, far better championship than they had in the recent 2 world competitions. And now, what are the jury going to make of this, I wonder? 3 red lights. There was a press out there, right arm, and I'm afraid that's not going to be given. And there you can see it pretty clear when you look at it in slow motion. So Cherney left on 158 at the moment, and on the stage Serikidze of Georgia. Georgian athletes just coming into the championships in these heavier classes. Second attempt, 3 kilo increase. Very steady in the bottom position, but that should receive 3 white lights, and indeed does. And that takes him up into silver medal position by virtue of being a fraction higher than Mr. Bardis of France. It's France from Georgia and Hungary at the moment, the 1, 2, 3. Turkey about to get excited, I think. No, in fact, it's going to be Cherney who comes in to try and get 163. Fatih Badar of Turkey, 165. He's looking for Sinklayan of Romania, 164. Bardis has put the bar to 164 for his 3rd attempt. And it's going to be Sinklayan of Romania to go next on 164. Creeping by a kilo at a time. And by the looks of things, nobody's going to get far away from the rest in this, the first half of the 85 kilo Championship of Europe. And again, just to remind you of the perspective here, the current leader, Jean-Baptiste or Giovanni Bardis, 163. The world and European snatch record, 187. Waiting for the down signal, and that will be okay as well. 3 white lights, and new man at the top of the table. Turkey now, and Badar coming onto the stage. This has always been a tremendously competitive category of competition, and as far as Turkey's concerned, they haven't actually won this since Izzet Ince was the winner in 2004, and in fact that's the only time that Turkey have won this European Championship at 85 kilos. So 165, this is a 3 kilo increase. Very good, just needs a step or two forward, but really looking strong and confident. And the crowd really getting into this. So, Turkey, host nation, always slightly better known for their lighter lift. It's quite funny in Turkey, really, between two sports. They tend to excel in weightlifting at the lighter categories, but if you go to wrestling, that's where their performances are best. Now, I obviously don't know the lady, but I'm pretty sure that's part of the family. And if that's his mum, well, she's enjoying her son's work. Now, Moldova and Chernai, 163. He missed out on that, but has taken his time. The bar has gone to 165. And like so many, again, new personal targets. And here's another one, 165. The lightest man in the class, so by body weight would go into top position. Not to be. Didn't really get hold of the pull there, and he's left down in 7th place as a result of that. Only 1 out of 3, and that's the penalty you pay. So Turkey leading Romania. Now, as you see that failure, let me tell you at the moment, Mr. Bado of Turkey's got 1 attempt left, Sinclayan of Romania 1 left, Bardis 1 left, and Sirakidze of Georgia 1 left. Now he's on 163 at the moment, Bar staying on 165, weighed in at 84.55, so yet again this would take him into gold medal in the snatch phase. Deliberate, controlled, but effective. Georgia up into the gold medal position. 3 attempts left in this first half of the 85 kilo competition. It may not be near those heavy numbers, those European and world records, but nonetheless, as ever in 85 kilos, a really competitive competition. So Georgia with the advantage. Georgia, who were very much a force in 2000 and 2001 and 2002, thanks to Georgi Azanidze, who won this title for Georgia, a hat-trick of victories in those years in this weight class. And now for France, Mr. Bardis, 166. So he's decided that he has to go for that extra kilo. Had he gone for the same weight, he could have got into the lead by virtue of lighter body weight, but happy to take on this extra kilo. It's a 3 kilo increase again. And the confidence in the French squad. 2-1 against. So well, the French fans not happy about the press out left arm there, and unfortunately that leaves him in 4th place and out of the snatch medals, and now just 2 lifts to go. It's Romania and Turkey. Romania to go first, Gabriel Sinclayan. According to Niku Vlad, a man who can give you a few heart palpitations because he's not the most of, not Mr. Consistent. but he's inside the 169 that he lifted in Paris. So this is a proven weight in championship lifting. But not today, and that leaves him down in the bronze medal position. So at the moment, Georgia in the lead. Sedikidze of Georgia on 165 by lighter body weight ahead of the only man who has one attempt left, Fatih Badar. So the Turkish lifter, who's looked pretty strong. Now, looking as if he really wants to be mean to the bar. Now, everybody asking for a bit of quiet here. Focus, concentration. This for the gold medal in the snatch. And a 1 kilo half-time lead. Couple of steps forward, needs to stay on the platform, feet need to be steady and in line. And the lift is achieved, and that bar has only just stayed on the platform. And 166, and the European Snatch champion for 2012 is Turkey's Fatih Badar. And he has that 1 kilo edge. Here you can see it again. Pretty close to the platform. Now, if he dropped that and that bar had gone off the stage, he could have risked the lift being disqualified. But as it is, it did stay on the stage. And he put it down correctly. And Turkey, Georgia and Romania are the countries taking medals in the first half of the competition. There you can see